What is your name?
Greg Williams.
What is your age?
63.
What do you farm?
Well, we currently have some beef cows, flock of sheep, got a few hogs, and no row crops this year. Mainly we put everything back in grass and raised quite a bit of hay.
All right. How long have you been farming?
My whole life. I run the dairy. Me and my wife married at 19. I started buying in with my dad, and we run the dairy for 42 years. We sold out in May of 22, the dairy business.
Why did you start farming, or why did you decide to work in ag?
Well, I just grew up on the farm, and I always knew that I'd probably farm. I never really thought of anything else.
How do you think agriculture has changed since you got in the industry?
Well, there's fewer and fewer farmers, and everything's went more large scale. And of course, we lost our tobacco program, and it supported a lot of small farms, and there was a lot of small dairy farms. And now the few that are left, they're big, and so is the grain farm. So it's changed substantially, and there's just a lot less farmers.
How do you think the ag industry will change over the next 50 years?
It will continue to consolidate to a certain point. There will be a few big guys raising grain, and then you'll have your smaller guys, and then you've got some guys now that's in the niche markets, whether it be raising beef from farm to directly to the consumer, or vegetables or whatever. You'll see some of those, but their income will be supported by public work. They won't do it solely because they just can't make a good enough living. So like I said, you'll still have a few big farms, but you'll have the smaller ones too.
How has agriculture improved since you started?
Well, it's just got more efficient. I think when I was in FFA in the 70s, I think we could feed, each farmer fed 72 people, and now you probably know what the number is. It's 160 or 70. So it continues, we're more efficient in what we do.
What do you wish that other people would know about what you do as a farmer?
Well, people just think mainly their food, comes from Kroger or Walmart or whatever, but there's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of worrying, a lot of debt load, and it goes along with farming. It just it's a real good life, but it's got its stresses too.
Who encouraged you to enter farming or agriculture?
Well, like I said, I don't know. Dad and Mom always wanted me to, get my education, but I just always, because I was here and loved it, I just always knew I'd probably farm, which I did.
How do you think Taylor County in itself has changed in the ag?
Well, we, as the farms sell now, the land has got so expensive, and most of the farms are getting tracked up, and of course, being close to the lake, people want a few acres for a house or whatever, and so we've got less and less farms and less of the farming community that we had when I was young and starting out.
What is your favorite memory on the farm, or what is your favorite memory of your agriculture career?
Just growing up on the farm, and just everybody in the neighborhood, every farm usually milked 20 or 25 cows and raised 2 to 4 acres of tobacco, and we always kind of had the same life, of how we made our living, and if you needed something, you could go to one of your local farmers and they'd have it, or vice versa. It was just the community.
In this industry, what is important to you to protect or educate others about, and why?
Well, I've always been real concerned about protecting the farmland, and I've been an advocate of some zoning in the county to protect our farms, and what land we do develop, it needs to be done in a proper way where we just not anybody can build anything next to whatever. And also when something is divided up, if there's been an existing farm, you know, the farms were there before the people were, so they don't need to complain. Now, like my farm in this area out here, we're in an ag district, so that gives us a little protection. And then, of course, mine's in a conservation easement PACE program, which is protected. It can never be subdivided, and I just wish there was more of that done to conserve the farms and some zoning to protect how we do develop our land.
What would your advice be to any farmer or any person that got into the agriculture industry?
Well, you just have to take it slow, and you're probably going to have outside income to make a go of it, because it just it takes so much money to get into it. Equipment's so high and land's so high, and it's just something you have to work into and need a good source of outside income to make a go of it.
Well, thank you for feeding our country, state, nation, and the world. And do you care if we use this video for the class?
No, it'd be fine. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.